we're going to learn a solo arrangement of Don't Know Why by Norah Jones. This is a fantastic tune to teach something called chromaticism. I'll talk a bit about that as we go through, but if you'd like to download a copy of this tab, be sure to check out my Patreon page where every month my patrons decide on a new tutorial, and it's really exciting to see what they think up. So check it out down in the link below. But let's go ahead and dive in with the intro. Looks something like this. Now, to play this, there's a lot of bar chords. It's a little bit advanced, but with practice, you'll be able to get it. We're going to start with this F major 7. Start with your index finger barred across the 5th fret of the G, C, E, and A strings. And the ring finger is going to come here on the 7th fret of the A string. Quick tip on a bar, if you ever struggle getting a good tone, just make sure you're getting right up next to that fret wire. Not coming over it, but getting right up next to it. Make sure that you don't have to push as hard. Makes it much easier. And we're going to pluck all 4 strings or strum them with the thumb, whatever you want with your playing hand. It's whatever's comfortable. And then we're going to play 8 on the A, just take your pinky and add it. Then we're going to play an F7. To do this, leave the bar where it is, add the middle finger on 6 of the A, pluck or strum through all 4. Then we're going to play 8 on the A with the pinky. And then we're going to play 5 on the G and 5 on the E. Going into the next measure here, we go to this B flat major 7. Now it sounds complicated. It's not that bad. All that you're going to do is leave the bar where it is, take your middle finger, add it on the 6th fret of the E string. And now you're going to pluck only the C and the E strings together. Then you're going to play the 5 on the A. Then you're going to move to this A7. Now this is a little spicy to make this movement, but what you need to do is you need to move your index to 3 on the E, middle to 4 on the C, and your ring to 4 on the A. And strum through or pick those 3 strings, the C, E, and A together. You can play that 4 on the A by itself. Then you're going to take this whole thing and move it down. And when you do this, you're going to move it down to 2, 1, 3. So your middle and your index fingers are sliding directly down. And your ring finger kind of tags along a little bit slower so that it can sit there on the 3 on the A. You see that's the same fingering, just now a little bit different positioning. We're going to pluck all 4 strings. Then we're going to play 3 on the A. We're going to go to a G7 from this point. Just take that ring finger and move it down 1 fret. Play that 2 on the A. Then play a C7. To do this, drop everything off. Move the index finger to 1 on the A. And then we're going to play 3 on the A. I like to just move my index finger up. 5 on the A with my ring. And then I'm going to slide my ring up to 7 on the A. And that's the whole intro phrase. And it sounds something like this when you play it. Nice and slow. Right? It's really easy to make mistakes. You hear I didn't get a really good tone on that D minor 7. Kind of holding the ukulele up a little bit awkward. So it takes some practice and, make sure you got good posture and everything, and it makes it much easier. So now we go on to melody A. And melody A is really when the vocals start. So we're going to start with that same F major 7, bar across the 5th fret with your index finger. Ring fingers here on 7 of the A. You're going to pluck the C and the E together. Then you're going to play 7 on the A. And now this is one little side note. The next thing that's written here on the tab is 3 on the A. And for all tunings of ukuleles, this works. You just take your ring finger and you slide it down to 3 on the A and play that. However, if you're playing a high G ukulele like I am, you also can play 5 on the G. So it's your pick, 3 on the A or 5 on the G. I like this with the high G. It just gives a little bit more resonance with the chord, but both ways work. In the tab, you'll notice it's marked as 3 on the A. No matter which one you choose, though, you will have to end up here on the 3A with the ring finger for this F7 chord, which you'll also take your index and place it on 1 of the E string and your middle here on 3 of the C. Pluck those 3 strings together, strum them. Then open on the A, take the ring finger off. Now for this next chord, the B flat major 7, you should be right here. So you can take your middle finger, move it down 1 fret to 2 on the C, take your ring finger, stack it up to 3 on the G, go through all 4 strings. Then you play 1 on the E, which is already there. And you're going to play this, it says A7. It's not really an A7. If you're playing with someone else, you'd have them play an A7, but the melody note's this F. So we're going to add an A7 in there, sort of, by playing the C sharp note, this 1 on the C string. So use your index finger there, middle finger here on 1 of the E, pluck just those two together. It's a really nice sound. And then from here, we're going to go on to the D minor 7 chord. But what's funny about this D minor 7 is we're just going to arpeggiate it, which means we're going to play each note individually. Middle finger here on 2 of the C, index on 1 of the E, then open on the A. Then we're going to play a G7, and to do that, we just take what we already have there and add the ring finger here to 2 on the A, and we're going to do an upstrum. This will sound best on a high G. It works on both for this part, but the melody note being this G note makes it really sound nice on a high G. Notice how I'm just upstrumming and kind of catching that top string a little bit more. Now I'll play 1 on the E. Then I'm going to play 003 for this C7. And what I'm going to do is take that index finger and I'm going to slide it to 3 on the E. So I'm going to play it at 1 and then immediately slide it to 3 on the E string. Then open on the A. Then move that index finger back down to 1 and play this F chord with 0 on the C, 1 on the E, and 0 on the A to kind of finish that little statement. And then I'm going to play 0 on the C, which kind of picks it up into the next sequence. So let's go ahead and hear what this sounds like. Here's measures 5, 6, 7, and 8. Should be something like this. Now, a quick side note, if you've been looking at these chords and thinking, Matt, that's not a C7 or a D minor 7 or an A7, keep in mind that the listed chords are for if somebody else were playing with you. So maybe you're playing with a guitarist or a piano player or another ukulele player. They play those chords while you play this arrangement and it'll all sound great. We had to kind of sacrifice some of these chords to make it work for the arrangement. But let's go ahead and look at 9, 10, 11, and 12. And guess what? You already know it. 9, 10, 11, 12 is just 5, 6, 7, 8. It's exactly the same. So we go through. It's exactly identical, which is pretty neat, right? Now we go on to 13 and 14. And 13 and 14 is also identical to stuff you know. In fact, 13 and 14 is going to be the same as 11 and 12 and 7 and 8. It's this part right here. It's exactly the same. The only difference is the very last note that's played here is going to be a 5 on the C string. And the reason is really simple. You'll actually notice at the end of that 5, there's a little repeat marker in the music, and it's going to repeat back to measure 5. So it plays that 5 on the C, and from that point, it goes back to measure 5. Right? And the reason for this is because of the format of the song. You go through measures 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then you repeat, go back to measure 5, and you play 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 again. So this is what we call an AABA format song, and what this is the first 2 A's. Now, once you've played those A sections, you go on to the B section, and the B section is going to start right here with measure 15, and it starts up there on the fretboard. We're going to play this pretty tricky D minor. I'll give you a trick for it too, but it's going to be ring finger here on the 7th fret of the G string, index finger barred across the C, E, and A. If you bar it across the G as well, that's totally fine. And the pinky here on the 8 of the A string. Now this is a tough chord. A lot of people have a lot of trouble with this. So a few different tips. One is it's okay to bar all the way across. It's also okay to take your middle finger and stack it to reinforce it. And if you really struggle with this chord, try mixing up how you build it. Maybe you always go like this, and it's really hard. Well, maybe start with the ring finger and pinky fingers and then add the index. And maybe that'll be the trick that you need to be able to play it more proficiently. But if this is really hard for you, it's okay to just bar across 5 and play 8 and not worry about the G string, just don't play it. Totally fine. It's more about having fun and being able to play songs than it is getting mad at a D minor chord. But after we play that, we'll play 8 on the A again. Then we're going to play this G6. To do that, just take that index finger and move it all the way up to be barred across the entirety of fret 7 on G, C, E, and A. Play all 4 strings. Play the A string again. Then we're going to play 10 on the E. Use your pinky, pluck that. And then we're going to play 8 on the E. I like to use my middle finger here. Take the index off so that right after that you can play the C chord, which is going to be 0, 0, 8. So we're just strumming through or plucking the G, C, and E strings there. And then to kind of wrap up that section, we're going to play the C7. Just take your index finger and place it on the first fret of the A string. And pluck that A. And then pluck the G, pluck the E, pluck the A, pluck the G, pluck the E, pluck the A, pluck the G, pluck the C. All that is filler in the background. And then to finish that, we're going to play 5 on the C again. And that's just setting us up because from here we go on to measure 19 and it's the exact same thing. Well, I shouldn't say exact. It's pretty close to the same thing. Starts with the same D minor. Same G6, except we're adding 10 on the A string. And so this is where it changes. Then we're going to play the 10 on the A again. And 7 on the A, so just take that pinky away. 10 on the E, add the pinky on 10. And then we're going to take that middle finger, add it on 8 of the E string, pluck our G, C, and E with the G and C being open. And then we're going to go down to a C7, 0, 0, 0, 1 with your index finger. Then you're going to go to this F, just add your index finger here to 1 on the E string, pluck the C, E, and A together. And then you can just slide that up to 3 on the E and pluck the G, C, and E together. And so that sounds something like this, measure 19. It goes. And the whole B section sounds something like this. Now, when we go from here, we go back to melody A. And what's kind of neat about this is you already know from here to the end. When we look at measures 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27 and 28 all scrunched together here, it's all familiar stuff. It should sound something like this. And that takes us through the end of this song, which is pretty neat. Now, a couple notes with this as you're playing it. The timing that's listed here, you know, the tab shows some timing, but don't follow it too literally. You'll notice I certainly don't. I think that the song sounds best when you use what's called artistic license, which is our right as musicians to give it a little bit of our own spin. And listen to the original recording a whole bunch. Get a feel for how Nora sings it, because it's such a beautiful melody. And when we're playing it on the ukulele, if we're trying to put this to a click track with a metronome, it can get a little bit messy. So I recommend playing it by feel, really using that musicianship. If you don't think you have musicianship, well, if you're playing an ukulele, you are actually a musician by definition. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy working on this song. It was a lot of fun to do the arrangement. I've had the song stuck in my head for a while now. If you'd like to check out the tab as well as help decide on next month's tutorial, be sure to check out the link down below for my Patreon page, and I'll look forward to seeing what you guys think up next time on the song lesson tutorial series. Thanks so much. Take it easy.